So, this is kind of an interesting experience. This happened last night. I was at the pub, doing, shit, playing pool, having drinks. Well, I ran out of cigarettes, and I have a carton of cigarettes here at my cottage, so pub's like literally 2-3 minute walk. It's right around the corner, literally. So, walk back to my cottage, grab my smokes. Well, I was looking for my smokes, and I heard something. I turned around, and there's a dude standing, not like in the doorway, not outside, but literally in my cottage. And my first reaction was, okay, attack this guy. But, a couple things roll through your mind. I've never seen this guy before. No idea who this guy is. He had his hands in his pockets, which made me a little bit nervous. One of my other options was play it off like, what up, dude? And that's what I decided to do. I've got weapons, but they were not in reachable distance. Like, if this guy was coming to fuck me up, he would have been able to fuck me up before I could have got to my weapons. So I played off like, what up, dude? I said, what's up? I mean, what are you doing, man? What's going on? It's like, I don't know, you tell me, bro. It was like, I don't know, man. Just about to go back to the bar, And I'm assuming the guy saw me from the bar, because the motherfucker followed me back up to the winery to my cottage. He's like, I'm just gonna sit down for a second, man. You smoke weed? I'm like, yeah, I do, but not right now. I'm looking for work, blah, 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 And I said, sit down. And I sat in a chair that's closest to one of my weapons, and trying to feel this guy out, The guy didn't seem like he was here to cause problems, but you don't know. I said, so what brings you here, bro? And he started telling me like this story, like he's from Alaska, and why he was coming down to this area. And I was like, no. I'm not asking you why you're doing what you're doing in this town. What I'm asking you is, what are you doing in my cottage? He's like, you invited me. I was like, invited you? I've never seen you before. He's like, well, I was at the bar, man. I'm like, yeah, but I don't remember seeing you at the bar, and I definitely didn't talk to you. He's like, no, you invited me. You're one of us. I'm like, what the fuck is one of us? It's like, you're a telepath. You're a telepath. He's like, oh, great. Now I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, crazy guy in my cottage. So I say, I'm trying to play it cool. Again, I could have grabbed my weapon. I could have kicked the guy's ass. Presumably he had no weapons. Don't know that. But I figured like he's not acting aggressive, so I just played along with him. Like, yeah, you know what, man, you got the wrong guy. I'm not a telepath. He's like, oh, you are. He's like, yeah, you're one of us. And I followed you back here because you invited me. I said, I invited you. He's like, yeah, when you walked out, you sent me a message, telepathically, asking me to come back to talk. And he's like, so what do you want to talk about? I was like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about, man. He's like, so you're testing me. So you're testing me. I was like, no, I'm not testing you, man. He's like, well, if you're not testing me, then you don't realize your telepathic abilities, because you asked me to come and back to your cottage because you wanted to talk. I was like, oh, fuck. Okay. And so now I'm like just trying to get the guy out. I'm like, let's go back to the bar, man. I was playing pool with those couple chicks. I was talking to them. I want to get back there because they said they'd come back and have some drinks with us or with me. Let's go back to the bar and grab those girls, and we'll come back here and talk. And that wasn't true. I mean, I wasn't. I had no girls that were saying they were going to come back to my place. But I want to get the guy the fuck out of here. And I thought maybe that would work. And he's like, oh, I've got no interest in girls. I was like, well, what is your interest? He's like, well, I'm interested in meeting, other fellow family members. And he's referring to telepaths. And I was like, well, dude, I'm going to go back to the bar, man. A couple girls waiting, and we'll come back here with the girls. And honestly, all I want to do is get the guy the fuck out. Figured once I'm at the bar, in a public situation, then I'll handle this dude, right? I don't want to handle him by myself. I don't know the guy. I don't know if he's got any weapons. I even asked the guy, I said, do I know you? He's like, no, we've never met before, you know, formally. I said, do you know me from YouTube or Facebook or something? He's like, nah, I don't do the internet thing. I was like, okay, so you decided just to wander up and walk into my cottage. He's like, no, you invited me. And I was like, okay, look, dude, it's time to go. We're going to go back to the bar. And so I start walking back to the bar, and I'm getting ready to tell this motherfucker, like, if you ever come up to this fucking winery again, uninvited, verbally, not telepathically, but verbally by me, there's going to be fucking trouble. Like, this is private property. I live here. Several other people live here. You know, this is private property. But the dude, like, breaks off. He breaks off. He's like, oh, yeah, I think I'm going to go, man. I got my shit stashed behind this building. Apparently the guy's homeless. And he dips out. Well, he was smoking some weed here in my room. And homie left a fucking, like, a half an ounce of weed sitting on my coffee table. And I was just like, I didn't realize that until I got back. When I got back, I was like, fuck. So what that means is homeboy's going to come back. Homeboy's going to come back for his shit. In fact, for my troubles, I did break off a little nugget, you know, just a little nugget, you know, out of his baggie for fucking with me. So now I'm like locking my doors and shit, which I usually don't do. Dude comes back today, so that would have been like 12-15 hours later. And he's like, dude, did I leave my weed here, man? I was like, yeah, you did, man. And I'm glad he came back. You know why? Because his weed being here gives him an excuse to come back. I don't want to talk to this guy. So I'm glad he came back and got his weed. I gave him his weed and I gave him the skinny. I was like, look, dude, you're lucky I didn't shoot you last night, man. You're lucky. You just don't walk into people's fucking houses, cottages, rooms, whatever you want to call them. Just don't walk into people that you don't know, you know, uninvited. You're lucky I didn't shoot you. And I said, you're lucky our fucking dogs didn't get you. So we have dogs in the winery. You know, sometimes they're indoors, sometimes they're not. But and I told him that, and he's like, yeah, I was fucked up, man. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I was like, yeah, bro, well, you know, that's cool, man. But, you know, this is private property, man. You can't hang out here, man, you know. If I see you out at the bar or on the street or whatever, maybe we'll have a drink, smoke a joint, whatever, but you can't just wander up onto this property, man. It's dangerous, because it's private property, and during business hours, when you come check it out, that's cool, but 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, midnight, no, not cool. So I think he got the hint.